Hi, and welcome to Monday morning. It's 3 p.m. here in Chicago, and it's 9 a.m. here in Chicago, and 3 p.m. GMT. You see, lack of sleep, right? Welcome, Darren and I, to the Across the Pond. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm fine. It sounds like it was a long weekend for you if you're getting confused over what time of day it is already.
It's only Monday morning, and already I'm out of sync. Yeah.
Indeed.
So busy week going on. Home Secretary in the UK has come up with some amazing statistics, I hear.
Yeah, well, if there's any time to boast about great statistics, it's now. And shoplifting is down over the last 3 months.
Shoplifting is down.
Yeah.
Nice one.
I'm not sure if she realised the consequences of what she was saying when she said it, but I'll certainly drink a cup of Dettol to that, Steve.
See, great segue. I'm not injecting myself with Dettol, everybody, in spite of what you may have seen at this side of the pond. It's not a good idea. I'm not really sure how you get light into the body either, other than maybe shining it on the outside. But, who knows? Smarter people than me, huh?
Yeah. I think the key takeaway here is focus on your speciality. And I don't know what Donald Trump's speciality is other than to upset people, but certainly he's not a scientist. So probably better if he leaves the scientific stuff to the experts.
Yeah, leave the science at the door, Donald. Yeah. Top tip. Yeah. So listen, in this week's edition of Across the Pond, we've got the amazing Rachel Wells coming up from the Kingswood Trust. Which is, we're going to hear some all about the Kingswood Trust and what Rachel does and how people can get involved. Our top tips, our 3 top tips this week are to do with social media posting. So if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask Darren and I about those, send them in if you're watching us live here on Facebook, or if you're watching this as a video on LinkedIn, send us the questions and we'll reply. And now we also have the podcast as well of the show comes out. So anyway, you can get hold of Darren and I, and we'll give you all of those contact details at the end. So let's move along then, Darren. Let's introduce Rachel Wells. Rachel from the Kingswood Trust. Rachel, hi. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Great to have you along. Rachel's the charity manager and at the Kingswood Trust. Rachel, I know you really well, but tell people what it is that you do.
Well, I have one of the best jobs in the world. Good morning to you, by the way, and good afternoon to Darren. Yes, I have one of the best jobs in the world. I get to connect children, their families and the community to nature, and we try and inspire people through those connections. So I run an environmental outdoor education centre. It's about miles outside the city of Wolverhampton, in the Staffordshire countryside. And we invite people to come and stay with us. A residential facility, so people can come and stay overnight, usually coming with their schools or community groups. We also do a whole range of nature-based learning opportunities for people.
That's
I think probably
it's amazing. No, carry on. I'm just saying that's fabulous.
I think one of the unique things about us is that we have children as young as 4 or 5 that come and stay on a residential stay. It's often the very first time they're away from home. And while people are, we try and get them to use our whole 9-acre site. So everything that we do is outdoors. It's all about encouraging people to learn about the environment, but also about improving their mental health, their physical health, and their overall well-being. So it's a really, really great place to be. As well as the residential opportunities, we also run events and activities for families. We have projects that we offer as well. So for very disadvantaged groups, we get fully funded projects in place through funding from a range of sources.
What are you doing dealing with COVID-19 then, Rachel? Because obviously, as an outdoor environment and a residential facility for people, of the impact on this on the business has been tremendous.
Well, yes, obviously our service users are people. We can only connect people to nature if we've got the people there. And obviously at the moment, people are in self-isolation, and that means that ARGS are currently closed. Nature isn't closed, however. It's one of the few things that's carrying on in spite of COVID-19, and probably is doing quite well without all the interference. Our gates are locked, but we've got volunteers who are in helping us. So we've got people going up every day to feed our pets, because we've got sheep and rabbits, guinea pigs, chicken, ducks, tortoises. They're all very happy, I might add. So volunteers are going up and helping us out. We're trying to keep in touch with people via social media, and just letting people know that we're still here and people will come back and support us once we can reopen the gates again.
Yeah, that's fabulous. The animals, I know you've got all sorts of animals there, and I guess having somebody go up there every day just to check on them is fundamentally important. Have you been doing anything on social media with the animals? Have you been showing them off to people? I know I saw a post from you the other night up there with the tranquility of the evening, but how are they coping with the stress? How's those chickens?
Oh, I think they look fine. I tell you what, they're laying loads of eggs. The people that are going up collect their daily egg box full of eggs, which is great. I mean, nature generally is doing really well. The animals are fine. I would say that we need more so now, and also when this is all over, that people will need to get back out there and build their confidence again being outdoors, which at the moment I think is a huge problem. In terms of letting people know what's going on, this week we're going to be doing a spotlight on our staff and then through our volunteers. So I'm getting people to take a photograph of the site and maybe something that's happening there. And we're just going to run through this week, certainly with what the staff do at Kingswood, what's going on, just to keep people connected with us.
Fabulous. And post COVID-19, what's in the pipeline for Kingswood?
Sorry, Steve, I didn't catch.
Yeah.
So
after COVID and all the restrictions are lifted, what's in the pipeline for all of you guys up at Kingswood Trust?
So obviously we need our funders to carry on supporting us, and funders are supporting a range of projects that we offer. We just worked on a new project which is called Breakaway, and this is based on encouraging families to come and use the residential facilities. It will be an intergenerational project where children, parents and grandparents will be able to come out in their family groups to spend some time back together. So reconnecting with each other and connecting with nature. So that's one of the projects that we're doing. We need people to fund that. We'll also be looking for families to engage in that project as well. And we're hoping that we can reach the most disadvantaged families in and around Wolverhampton and Staffordshire for that. In terms of other support, people to come back again, we've got a number of schools who would have been out doing residential stays and they've had to be postponed for the time being. So we're hoping at the end of the summer, early autumn, we'll be able to get all those people back. And also other people who feel they can offer their support, whether it's volunteers, people like yourself, Steve, for example. I've known Steve for a couple of years now, and Steve's been offering some valuable business support. It's an area as a charity that we hadn't received before. And I have to say, a bit of a plug for you here, Steve, having a weekly meeting across Skype has been great in getting us to think really about how we can be more creative with our business, how we can use social media more effectively, and really having somebody to sound off against and just to share your ideas with. So a business coach is a great person to have. So pop-up expert, Steve, if you can find him there, then I'm sure he will offer you some great support.
But I'm going a bit pink with embarrassment. That's so kind of you to say, Rachel. Thank you for that. The one thing I would say as well from our conversations is that corporates can get involved at Kingswood Trust, can't they? And I know you have, in terms of social interaction and part of corporate responsibility in the community, that corporates can get involved and come and help out and volunteer as part of their own community foundations.
Yes, they can, and corporates offer us all sorts of supports. We have days of volunteering. We have people who offer other support in other areas, so that might be other types of business support that can be offered. I think what is low value to business would be high value to us. And one of the things that we can do is publicise the work that corporates do for us. One thing I might add actually is in terms of meetings at the moment, there's a lot of research around the fact that if you have your meetings outdoors, it improves your well-being, it improves your creativity, and also getting a breath of fresh air is certainly good for your own physical and mental health. So what I would suggest is if you're a business person watching this, instead of sitting in your room having a meeting, why not go outside and walk and talk? And then you have other things that you can share when you're out and about.
Steve Jobs used to do that a lot, I think, didn't he? Take people out and walk around the car park and talk to them, Darren? He did.
Yes, he used to. It was walk and talk to sort out issues and have discussions. I think it's a great idea. It's a really good idea.
Yeah. Now, last year, Rachel, because you're hiding your light under a bushel, as the saying goes. Last year, Kingswood Trust received an amazing accolation. Do you want to tell everybody what that was?
Yes. Well, we went for afternoon tea with the Queen, and we were awarded the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service, which I think in June last year, approximately 180 other voluntary sector organisations were awarded this. And it's a recognition of the work that we do in the voluntary sector, but also the volunteers that actually work for us. We have a staff of 7. We have a 9-acre site, and last year we had over 280 volunteers giving back over 6,000 hours of voluntary work. And actually, I just so happen to have my badge here, which is my Queen's Award badge. It's great recognition that stays with you for the rest of obviously the charity's life. But there is a message out there really to say that, a lot of organisations, companies as well, are doing a lot of voluntary work that maybe they don't really talk about often. And if all the volunteers stop working, then I think as a country we would shut down. So I, endorse the work of volunteers. We're obviously really happy to have that accolade, and we're always willing to work with companies and individuals and people perhaps who are trying to get back into work. Some people may have been off work for all sorts of reasons, mainly at the moment COVID-19. But if people need a way back into work, we're then in a position to support people by writing references and offering them that step back into employment.
That's amazing. You've got an event space there as well, Rachel, haven't you, for people once things do get back to the new normal, for having kind of presentations and corporate meetings and so on, I know. But I love the idea of just being out there and just, having a meeting outside in the good weather. And again, for our American viewers and listeners, it doesn't always rain in the UK. Okay.
And it could be next to a pond as well, being across the pond.
There you go. You see, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Rachel, how can people reach out to you? How can they get hold of you?
Well, we'd love people to go and visit our website, which is www.discover-kingswood.org.uk. But I can be found on LinkedIn, and go and have a look at our Facebook page, which is the Friends of Kingswood Trust. We'll be posting on there regularly. We're trying to offer a few suggestions as well for children and families to be doing at home. whilst they're on lockdown. And hopefully we'll all come out the end of this with a new normal, perhaps a better one, who knows?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we'll be posting those links as we do for everybody in the podcast and in the video that goes out after this as well. So, Rachel, listen, stay well, stay safe. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Rachel.
To talk to you, and we'll catch up on our regular call later on this week.
Good to see you.
Will do. Take care, everybody.
Thanks a lot.
Stay safe.
Bye for now. Bye. I love that idea, mate, about getting out into nature and having your meeting.
Yes. Well, they also say that it's important to find a place, because you're stuck at home all day long. So to have a place where you work that's separate to where you live, or where you live and breathe. I know it's not easy, but if you do have a bit outdoors, or a garden, shed, conservatory area, or somewhere that you can work in, get some fresh air and get away from it all. So
yeah. It's certainly during COVID, I've done some of my best thinking while I've been outside, particularly as traffic is quieter and even social distancing. Although people that know me know I'm a very tactile, social person. I think it's just nice being out there and breathing some fresh air and letting your mind wander.
I know we're going to talk about social media in a minute, but I think it was the CEO of Buffer.com that does social media posting, a third-party app. And I remember him saying once that he used to go for a walk every evening, because in the evenings was the time when he'd get a chance to reflect, think about what he wants to do, think about where the business is going. And it was a good chance to just get away from everything, put the tools down, get some fresh air, and inspire the creativity. Yeah.
Actually, talking of that, have a look at Rachel's post on Facebook just last week. Rachel went up there, I think, in the evening just to do their kind of checks and did a lovely post from Kingswood, and you can. This sounds odd to say, but you can hear the tranquility up there, and I think it was a beautiful warm evening, and it was a great post. Really connected with that environment. So, which brings us nicely onto our three top tips this week. Darren. This week we're looking at social media posting. So if you've got any questions, pop them up right now, or send them in to Darren and I, and we'll answer them. So our first tip this week is to do with production. It doesn't have to be a Hollywood production. You don't have to worry about the lighting. But it does need to be authentic, and so stop worrying about, is the lighting right? Is the just do it now is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It doesn't need to be authentic and genuine, but if you're constantly waiting for the right lighting and the right dimensions and the right this and the right that, you'll never get it done. So absolutely, it's important to be genuine and I liked what Rachel said about working with companies, because if you're doing posts out there and you're sponsoring a company, it gives a lot of personality, and a lot of people can build trust with you and get to know you more if they know what you're doing in the community to help charities or other companies. Yeah, no, absolutely pays dividends, particularly local business working with local charities. I think people appreciate that a lot, particularly in times like now. So our second top tip about social media posting is don't be scared to do it. Stop procrastinating, right? Do it now. Yeah. And it kind of ties in with what we've just said in a way as well, because I said about waiting for the right lighting. I've just been on a webinar a couple of hours ago, and one of the top tips for the webinar for business growth is don't wait for everything to be perfect. Imperfect, actually, in a way, is perfect. And what we mean by that is, if you sit there going, somebody might not like it. Should I do that wording? How do I create an image? Oh, you'll never get it done. So you've just got to get something out there. I remember one webinar from a lady who does voiceovers and acting, saying that she decided to post a whole load of posts on a third-party site somewhere to get rid of the nerves, to clear the nerves, and to make her feel better before she went public on her own place. Because if you look back at your videos, probably with you, Steve, you've done a lot of videos. If I look back to your first few videos, I expect you probably look at them now and go, "Ooh, crikey, I've got a lot better." Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, my hair's a lot longer for a start. But you're right. You know, don't be scared to do it, and don't be scared of the language. You know, in the world that we live in, unfortunately, you're bound to upset somebody. All right, it's just the nature of the beast. I saw a post from a guy called David Holland. If you know, I know you know David, Darren, who put something up about Trump, and had to take it down because people were just coming at him just because they didn't like it. So you know, look, don't be afraid. Do it now, and don't be scared. You know, because for all the time that you're waiting to do it, somebody else is out there doing it instead of you.
Yeah. And just to touch on that, Steve, I think you'll always upset somebody, whatever you do. I think there's always an area where you know that you don't want to go too political or too rude or whatever it is. But it's worth putting it out there. And sometimes the best content are the ones where you are controversial or you challenge the way things work and you get people thinking. And that's the approach that I take with the marketing, saying, well, okay, some marketers may well say you do that and they might be right, but what about this?
Yeah.
You can't say that. We'll give it a go. Try something different. So yeah, don't be afraid to be different.
I agree. Yeah. No, sure. And on that vein, then, our third top tip is make sure that the content that you're putting out is relevant to the platform that you're putting it on. So if you're posting on TikTok, never mind about all the dances, right? On LinkedIn, doesn't work. Okay. And make sure that you're talking to your audience. So obviously we know, LinkedIn is far more business orientated. TikTok is far more a younger crowd. Although, I'm hearing a lot from people about leads they're bringing in from TikTok. I had a conversation with a lawyer down in Florida just last week who's getting 3 or 4 leads a month from TikTok, and they're good leads. So I'm taking a look at that myself right now. So I'm not going to be doing all this. Don't worry. But take a look. But what do you reckon about that, Darren?
TikTok's grown a lot in the last few months. And I have to be honest, I've looked at TikTok a few times. I thought, well, I don't quite get it. Don't quite, maybe I'm too old or something. But it definitely is growing. And I said many years ago that Instagram was not quite the right time to be on Instagram. But that's done exactly the same thing. Instagram went from it's for teenagers only to I need to be on Instagram for my business. And I think TikTok is fast heading that way. I think the difference between TikTok and Instagram is that Instagram is images and videos, whereas TikTok, it's a lot closer in a way to YouTube in that respect. It's a video based platform. So
totally right.
Right. Goes back to our point too about not waiting too long. Don't procrastinate. You've got to just go and do a video of yourself and get it on TikTok.
Absolutely. So I've been doing a lot of research into this the last couple of weeks, and the the thing about TikTok, I think, is you want to be edgy with it. Okay, you do need to be a bit extrovert for sure, but the age thing. Just have a look at who's on there. I know we talk about Gary Vee a lot. I'm a huge fan, but he's saying it doesn't matter your age. Or it doesn't matter your effing age. Actually, the way Gary says it, just get on there and just do it. But again, LinkedIn, and I know we've spoken about this before, is there's a bigger sense of community on there right now. I think, and although as we said, those posts need to be different. Think about the audience. So our top tip on that one is, make sure that the content you're putting out is relevant to the platform. Yeah, you can cross share. I mean, obviously Instagram and Facebook cross share and things like that. But so that's our 3 tips for this week on that. And so we got some funnies.
We have,
Darren, haven't we? We got each week we try and find some of the posts Darren and I have been looking at, and we've got quite a few for you today. I think we've got 4 today, mate, haven't we?
I think it's 4. Yeah, let me just share my screen if that's okay.
Yeah. Just while you're talking about that, I don't know if you've seen the news, but our local submarine manufacturer has gone during COVID.
Yes.
So there you go. That's the funnies. So here's some of the funny things that we found this week. Love this one.
And I just want to say on this one, I actually took this from a fire brigade, a local fire brigade. Actually posted this on social media. I don't know what it's like in the US, but in the UK, police and fire services are active on social media doing top tips and updates. And sometimes they do post funny things like this. So it's absolutely brilliant to see this.
Yeah.
If you're a Lego fan, absolutely brilliant. The next one, Rachel's gone now. It'd be good to have got her feedback on this, but I think this is the way things are going, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, e-learning here, online learning is, I mean, everybody's doing it. Schools aren't going to go back this year in terms of term year here for sure. But you're absolutely right. That's the way it's going.
Yeah.
Nice one.
I mean, in the UK, we finish school time roughly. I think it's the end of July.
End of July, yeah.
It's on a lot longer, but I don't think it's going to carry on. I think this year's pretty much come to the end. Then the next one, if you're a cat lover or a pet lover,
there you go. See.
So I don't know if you're a Scrabble fan at all, Steve.
I do. I do like a good game of Scrabble. I'm no good at it, but I do like a good game of Scrabble. So, but interesting, about pets. Sam was saying last week when we had Sam Morris on last week about pets getting stressed out because you're in the house all the time. Now, where normally they get the days to themselves. Although that cat, I have to say, looks pretty relaxed and actually looks to me like they're winning. Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. Cool. Love that one. That's a good one.
If you want to win at Scrabble, play your pet. Right. And this one, I don't know if you call it the Navy in the US.
The
Marines,
the Navy. Yeah.
When the Navy works from home. And I think
who sunk my battleship.
Yeah, absolutely. But even if you're not in the Navy, it's a great game to play and good way to pass the hours.
Yeah, superb. Love those, mate. Thanks for those.
All right.
So, listen. So we're going to be back next week with Across the Pond. We'll notify you of our guests. If you'd like to be a guest with Darren and I, then drop us a message. You've got a story to tell. You want to connect with some great people. We're getting a lot of views on these videos. We're getting a lot of people listening in on the podcast. So it's a good way to get your message out there. Good to have a bit of conversation, a little bit of light banter, and so on. Any last thoughts from you, Darren, before we wrap up today?
I think a few weeks ago we asked you to put your phone down by your side an hour before you went to bed when Penny was on. So is the action for next week to promote your new TikTok account with your new videos? Is that?
I love a bit of self-promotion. You know that. Yes, it will be. It will be, and the our ebook that we've been talking about will be out during this week as well. So we'll have a chat about that next week. But yeah, so look out for the Pop-Up Expert TikTok account. It might be a bit mad, you never know, but I'm known for that. So what the hell? So listen, until next week, from Darren and I, thanks for joining us across the pond. Thanks for coming on, Rachel Wells. We'll put all Rachel's details up, and until we meet again, everybody stay well, stay safe.
Have an awesome week.